Life.
Life. Let me check. Okay. Okay, hello parents. This is Coach John from Learning Out of the Box, and thank you so much for being here. As you know, my primary 6 child is also taking PSLE this year, and I know that I'm supposed to spend time with her, but at the same time, because I also teach my child, and I've seen her like working very hard and doing those very tedious science OEQ questions, and sometimes she asks me, and it really made my head spin. So I am thinking parents out there who also may need help as well. So today I have invited a very good friend of mine, and her name is Teacher Lup Wai. Hello, Lup Wai.
Hi everyone.
Hello.
Teacher Lup Wai here.
Hello, thanks for being here, even though you have to rush from attending to your kid.
Most welcome. Thanks for the invite as well. Honored to be here.
Yes. Okay, parents. Okay, so today we are going to talk about the science OEQ. OEQ stands for open-ended questions lah. Yeah. Personally, I find that it's really very hard to analyze those. Okay, I call them short questions. Yeah. So I have always asked like why actually why are they so hard, and is there any way to help parents like us who teach our kids or support them also? Yeah, so today, can you share with us, like, I think we are also very busy lah. So can you share with us 3 important ways that you yourself use to teach your kids, like how to answer, yeah, and how to score also. I think this is what parents want, how to answer and how to score. Yeah. So back to you.
Thank you. So how to answer and how to score. The common problem among the students that I've seen, right, and I've taught is sometimes they panic. So the mood have to be there, and also to be very focused when they're answering the question, right? So the first thing is how to read the question properly and understand what the question is asking. So that's the first thing. And also the second thing is they need to understand what kind of topic that this question is focusing on. Because when you look at the question, it seems like, oh, what is this question asking about? I don't think I have seen this question before. I don't think that I've studied this before. I don't think that I have came across this scenario before. So the first thing is what kind of topic is it focusing on when this question is asking, what this question is asking you, right? So that will be with the topic, at least you have a guideline of, okay, structured, like a bullet form of like structure in your head, right? How to answer according to that topic, which is why people always say that you must understand the concept. And then from there, you know what are the keywords to use. Then the third thing is, of course, you have to, once you know the topic, that's where you need to understand how to apply it to the question. So reading the question, knowing the topic, and answering according to what the question is asking will generally allow you to score the marks.
So let me summarize what we have just shared. And I think there's a parent who put something into the chat box, so you can copy and paste into your Facebook page. Okay, so parents, let me just summarize, because I'm someone who, I think when it comes to math, I'm okay lah. But when it comes to science, I'm just like a primary school kid learning from Teacher Lup Wai. Yeah. So first thing, when you see a tough science OEQ question, actually no need tough lah, very long-winded lah. I always say, okay, so what is this grandmother story talking about when I talk to my kids now, okay, at home? So this is my joke with my kid at home. You must first stay calm. Your parents stay calm. Then later, you have to really know that your child has studied the topic. So topic mastery is the next thing, just like maths, yeah. And then the next thing is concepts, yeah, conceptual understanding. Yeah, actually, just like maths. Then later on, must know how to apply. So the sequence is stay calm, topic mastery, conceptual understanding, then application. Yeah. So okay, so back to you, Lup Wai. So can you go in depth, like, so how can the children who are preparing for PSLE this year do that?
Okay, I can move on to open up to share one of the question, and then we can go through that question and see how we can apply that. So for those parents who are live here with us, you can actually join us in answering the question as well. So at the same time, you can also like practice how to answer those questions. So let me share my screen.
So parents, make sure that okay, my experience of learning of more effectively is always to do together with the Facebook Live. Yeah, I mean nowadays there are so many Zoom Facebook Lives out there, and sometimes we get jaded, we get tired, we get fatigued. Yeah, but again, since you are here, and I thank you very much for being here. I want you to benefit and get the most out of this session. Please get a piece of paper out, or at least in your mind, you have a mental work or of your own way of answering the question, so that you can see what you have learned, what else you need to learn, and also how we can better support you and your child in doing well and scoring for this PSLE science.
Right. Thank you. Now let me open up this file.
Okay. Parents, type yes if you can see the question. Type a yes if you can see the question. Yeah. So at least I know we are doing it right. Type a yes. Yeah. Type a yes in the comment box in the Facebook page. Yeah. Okay, can start.
All right. So now that you have seen, look at this picture, right? And the questions. Now, Sally bought a cup of hot coffee from a fast food restaurant that came with two different types of removable cardboard sleeves. So as you can see, cardboard sleeves of X and Y. So you need to identify and focus on where the X and Y is. All right. And look at the cardboard sleeve. What's the difference? So this also test your observation as well, right? The child's observation. So from there, you can see that this is flat and this is like jagged, right? Teeth-like. Now, the next question they're asking is, Sally found that she could hold onto the cup of hot coffee with sleeve Y longer than sleeve X. Explain why. Now, before we answer this question, who can answer like what kind of topic is it focusing on?
Okay, Lup Wai, is it okay that you can zoom in a bit more?
Zoom in a bit.
Yeah. I mean,
This?
I know that you will need two parts of the questions for the later processing. Yeah, but I find that from the Facebook Live, it's a bit hard to read. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, you try,
Okay.
because I think later when you answer B, right, it's easier also. Yeah.
Let me see if I can do this.
Yeah. And because I think for myself also like got a bit of lao hua, cannot see it already. Yeah.
Is this better?
Yes, good. Thanks.
So that means I show one question at a time.
Yep, good.
Okay. So based on this question, can the parent or students, if you are online with us, like let us know what kind of topic comes to your mind when you read this story, read this question. So in your mind, that you can answer to yourself like, okay, what kind of topic do I focus on? What kind of topic do I need to dig up from my brain that is in regards to this question? I saw a reply, heat transfer. Great. Yes, it's about heat. Right, so once you know that it is about heat, then how do I answer this kind of question? Now you know there's heat transfer. Sally found that she could hold on to the cup of hot coffee with sleeve wide longer. So I believe a lot of parents are drinking hot coffee, hot tea, hot Milo. So you realize that when you go to those drink store, you encounter holding this cup. At the same time, you realize that, oh, actually, this is one of the science topic. So if you ever go and purchase a hot drink, take the chance, bring it home, show your kids, right? At the same time, tell them to hold on to the drink and see which one actually allow them to hold longer and why. So now this is a question. She found that she can hold on to the sleeve wine longer. Why? So what is the difference between here? Sometimes you look at this question, I've never held this cup before. How do I know what kind of question is asking? Right? How do I know how to answer this kind of question? So that's a lot of struggle that a lot of students has it. I haven't encountered before. I don't know how to answer that. I never seen this question before. I don't know how to answer that. Now, if you know that it is about heat and it's about heat transfer, all right, how does the heat transfer from one place to another or one object to another? Also, at the same time, they give you a diagram to observe, right? They give you a diagram to observe. So what is the difference between this diagram, this leaf, and this leaf? So from here, you can see what kind of difference does it show. The first difference you see is the sleeve Y. Okay, they mentioned about sleeve Y, why they can hold on to sleeve Y longer. So now you focus on sleeve Y, but don't forget, this is also a comparative question. How to identify that? They are asking you, why I can hold on to sleeve Y longer than sleeve X? So that's a comparative where you need to compare, have a comparison inside your answer as well. All right. A lot of time, the student will just answer straight away. Oh, I can hold on to sleeve Y because and then they skip and not exactly see, they just move on to the next question. But they forgot about the part that why I can hold on to Y longer than X. So don't forget to mention about X as well. All right, so there are two characters here and they are comparing both of them. So make sure you compare both of them as well in your answer. Otherwise, the mark won't be given. All right.
Probably I can add in a part as a parent. I mean, I don't teach science, but what I remember from Teacher Lup Wai's teaching is when you talk about comparison, right? Just like maths problem sums, you have more, less than, and then when do we use more, less than is when you compare two objects. Just like science, when you have two objects, you must remember to compare by using the right word like longer, shorter, faster, slower. Yeah, and all these things must be inside the answering section. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Thanks. Smart student.
You learn fast.
Yes, thank you very much. Yeah. Just trying to help.
Thank you. So at the same time, right, as you can see, when do you realize that when you hold on to things, right, if it's not hot, you can hold on to the whole cup itself, right? But if it's hot, you tend to like hold that little bit. You try to find angle that you can hold that little bit, just that 5 fingers, instead of holding the whole cup. So it's a very similar concept as well, where, okay, a lot of times I try to relate to what we have, what we do in real life, so that the students easier for them to understand. So now with that demonstration, right, if it's not hot, I can hold on to the whole thing. If it's hot, I hold on to that tiny little bit. I mean, try to have less contact surface as possible. So for heat topic, the schools also have been teaching about contact surface, right? Exposed surface area, contact surface area. If you realize that your whole hand, if you touch it, the whole hand will touch the whole surface here. The part in contact with cup. And over here is jagged. Right. Now they're asking about sleeve Y, right? So you answer based on sleeve Y first. So as you can see, sleeve Y, how do you answer? Contact surface area, right? The sleeve Y has less surface area in contact with what? With our hand, right? Because our hand is the one holding it. So it has less contact surface area, right, between, let me lengthen. All right, between her hand, that's Sally's hand, and the cup of hot coffee, right, as compared to sleeve X. Now, do you see? I have answered directly in a way between sleeve Y and sleeve X. So my sleeve Y has less contact surface area between my hand and the cup, or her hand and the cup, all right, as compared to sleeve Y. So this is a direct answer compared to why she can hold onto the cup longer with the sleeve Y. Now, the next thing is, you notice it's 2 marks, right? How do I get the 2 marks? You need evidence, you need reason. And that reason has to be related to this question as well. How do I further explain, providing evidence and scientific evidence, I mean. So when using sleeve Y, right, when I use a sleeve Y, you mentioned her hand, right? Just now, one of the mummy says that heat transfer, right? So how does the heat transfer to her hand? Is it more or less? Since I got less contact with the cup. So in other words, if I have less contact, the heat transfer to my hand will be slower, right? It will be lesser, all right? So her hand gained less heat from the hot coffee, all right? And from that, because I gain less heat, I will prevent myself from getting burned from the hot coffee. So when using sleeve Y, her hand gained less heat from the hot coffee, and she is able to prevent her hand from getting burnt. Right? Therefore, now you are going back to relate to this question. Therefore, she is able to hold onto the cup with sleeve Y longer than sleeve X. Okay, let me shift a bit so that you can see the answer. Are you able to see? Coach John, are you able to see the answer as well?
Yes.
Blur or the line blocking?
They are sharp, just like the lines are blocking. But anyway, I think you can try your best to, but I think this is good. Yeah, but probably you want to just read out again to summarize so that the parents can read those that are being blocked.
Okay, yeah. So how I answer is, okay, as I repeat again, right? They're asking about sleeve Y. So I answer based on sleeve Y first. So sleeve Y has less surface area in contact between her hand and the cup, right? Instead of your whole hand flat on the cup, this is jagged, all right? So that's why I have less surface area in contact between my hand and the cup. Now, this is the answer why she can hold it so long. Direct answer to the first part of the question. Now you need to explain why. Why, that means you need to explain based on the scientific fact and evidence. So when using sleeve Y, that's the evidence, right? Her hand gained less heat. Why I can hold? Because I gain less heat from the hot coffee, right? And again, let's hit, I don't get my hand burned, therefore I can hold onto the cup longer. And don't forget the compare. So at the end of this, before you end the question answer, you need, don't forget to compare both of them. All right, sleeve Y longer than sleeve X. She's able to hold onto the cup with sleeve Y longer than sleeve X. Right, that means I'm relating back. Even though I have provided the science evidence, I can relate it back to the question. Right, why do we need to relate back? Because this gives the teacher idea that you understand what the question is asking, you know how to apply the concept onto the question, rather than you just memorizing it and just throw out all the information. Right, some students will just say, oh, because it's heat transfer from hot to cold, because I can feel it, but you're not relating back to this question. Right, so which is why we always have to relate back to the question at the end of it.
Yeah. Probably right now, let me try my best to do a summary for myself so that I can also support my child better. Yeah, in the meantime, you can look at the chat box. Yeah, there's a message for you. Yeah. Okay, so parents, what I can do is I can summarize for you, because I think parents out there, they always tell me that I'm a very good explainer and summarizer as well. Yeah, so please note that when your child study for science, right, what you need to do is really at home, spend time to master the topic, but at the same time, teach your child the skill of being flexible and versatile as well, because the science questions that come out will not let you, just take the whole chunk from the science book and then just throw it there and get marks. No, this doesn't work anymore. Okay, yeah. So what is next is you need to learn skills as well. Yeah, skills such as in this sequence, which is like topic mastery, looking at the questions, and then if it's comparison, make sure that you have the words here like less, compared to, gain less heat, as well as longer. Yeah, so these are, I would say that these are science topics per se, but it's very much in answering techniques. Yeah, this is something that I think is very lacking, especially for parents like myself who don't know how to teach science. Yeah, so normally we leave it to the experts like Lup Wai. Yeah, so at the same time, make sure that your choice is answering to the question, meaning that when they ask for explain why, beside the parts that you use as evidence as well as trying to explain why, but also please remind your child to go back to what they want. It means relating back to what they want. Yeah, I hope that helps.
Thank you. Yes, it does help. And also to add on, this, a lot of questions, right? A lot of students will tend to just answer straight away, and they forget about the part where they need to provide evidence based on the graph or table or the pictures, the images. So if they're feeling lost on how to answer, observe the pictures again, the graph or the table. And then generally you can actually get information from there to further answer the question. Right. At the same time, of course, when they look at the question, sometimes they get panicked. It's like, how do I answer this? So, which is why I usually teach the step of like identifying the topic. So from that topic, what do you learn about heat? What kind of keywords or what kind of words that you have learned from there before? And how can I apply to the question? So when you are applying keyword, you don't just dump all the keywords out. You also need to learn how to practice on how to answer them in a proper sentence that are explainable in scientific way, right? Based on the science facts. Okay, so the next one, we'll be looking at the glass. So I believe a lot of, some of you may have this kind of glass or seen this kind of glass before, where there's a double walled glass, right? And the other type is a normal single wall glass. So on her birthday, Sally was given a double wall glass as shown. Now, Sally was told that the double wall glass would keep a cold drink cold for a longer time than a single wall glass. So now you know it's about heat. What other words from heat can you think of? Just now there's a word on heat transfer now. Now we are talking about keeping the cold drink longer than a single wall glass. Here also wants you to explain. So you need to find evidence as well based on the diagram. So what kind of keyword comes to your mind? We are still on the heat topic, right? So you want
Keywords,
what kind of keyword that comes to your mind? Okay, the double wall and the single wall. What's the difference between the double wall? You see the
parents who are with us, can you type out the keyword that you think should appear in the answer? So let's have some form of engagement. Type out one keyword that you think is important to be shown in the answer.
So there's air here. You notice the key, there's the hint here, there's air. So they give you a hint here. Oops, it become error.
Okay, Mami Jaslyn So said insulation.
Insulation.
Okay, let's have a few more so that we know you're following. If you're not sure, ask your child who's next to you. Okay, I think while waiting for the parents to give the keywords, like for myself, like I'm stuck. Okay, so and a child can possibly be stuck as well. So what is the process? Like you gave us this hint air. What else should a child look out for? Assuming that she or he is stuck right now.
Okay, so if they are stuck, most of the time teacher do have gone through with them like heat. What are the ways that the heat can transfer? Right. Now, with this air in between, how do you think the heat can be transferred? How do you think, based on this single glass, the heat can be transferred? Is it immediately or is it through the air? If there's air in between, do you think this is the heat will be transferring to your hand easily or not that easily? So in a simple simple way of thinking.
Okay, so using my very limited science knowledge, so are you saying that, okay, so there's air and then now it's in a question testing you on heat? Yeah, then probably one question we can ask ourselves is, so how is this air interacting with the heat? Or vice versa? Not sure if I'm right.
Something like that, right? And if they have learned or listened in the class, usually teachers do tell them like, what are the, okay, one of the mummy say insulator, right? What are the insulator of heat or what are the good conductor of the heat, right? In other words, what are the good conductor of heat and what are the poor conductor of heat?
Serena said airspace.
Airspace. Okay, there's air filled. So in actual fact, yes, there's airspace. So just now I just reviewed insulator or insulation or insulator. It relates to conductor of heat, right? So from that, you can also identify what are the good conductor of heat and what are the poor conductor of heat. Okay, when I teach my students, usually for the beginning, when we touch on this kind of topic, right, I will tell them like what kind of material are good conductor, what kind of material are bad conductor, poor conductor of heat. So basically from there, they will understand, okay, when they see air are usually what? Good conductor or poor conductor? So any parents can answer that. Is air a good conductor or a poor conductor?
Type good if you think it's good, type bad. Oh, poor, sorry, cannot use the word bad. Type poor if you think that it's a poor conductor.
Don't worry about getting right or wrong.
Again, if you're not sure, if your kid is next to you, just ask, hey, do you want to use good or use poor? Okay, one parent say poor. Thanks, Arena.
Thank you. Yes, air is a poor conductor of heat. So now that you know that air is a poor conductor of heat, right? So you can keep the drink colder for a longer time. That means what? The heat is not able to be conducted to your drink that fast, right? Which is why you can keep the drink cold for a longer time. So how do I answer that in this question? First thing, do you notice they ask for double wall glass also? So you answer based on double wall glass, right? It's also very common that the student will answer about single wall glass first. But the question is focusing on this first. So make sure, read the question, what is it asking for, right? So the double wall glass has what? Has an air filled gap. Now, I am just describing what this double wall glass has, right? Right? Now I also need to compare to the single wall. So the double wall glass has an air filled gap, whereas single wall glass does not. So I identify the differences between here. Straightforward, right? Now I need to add in the scientific facts in there. So we are mentioning about the air first, right? We know that the air is a poor conductor of heat. So as air is a poor conductor of heat, what will happen? I don't want my drink to take the heat so fast, right? I don't want to feel hot that fast. So imagine you're the cold drink. So based on that, I'm the cold drink in this glass. I don't want the heat to come in that fast, right? Just imagine. Now, as air is a poor conductor of heat, right? How do I answer? The cold drink in the double. I need to mention where I am. Double wall glass. What happened? Will not gain heat. Right, as fast as single wall glass. Right, now I'm missing one thing. I gain heat from where? That's the thing.
Well, still must write from where.
Yeah.
And I thought it's long enough already. So if I'm the child, I will have stopped here.
Yeah.
Because I will have run out of lines to write.
That's the problem. A lot of students will find that, oh, I gain heat and lose heat, and then that's it. I stop.
Oh my
Because
gosh.
I've add in the heat gain, heat loss, everything. But from where? It's just an answering water cycle. Warm water vapor touch cool surface. It's like warm water vapor from where? So you need to answer from that for that. So as air is a poor conductor of heat, the cold drink in double wall glass will not gain heat from the surrounding. All right. If it's not in anywhere or there's nothing that they mentioned, nothing else that they mentioned, is always from the surrounding. Since I'm leaving it in the room or in the open space, right? So it won't gain heat from, it will not gain heat from the surrounding as fast as a single wall glass, right? Therefore, same thing, read it back to the question. Right. The cold drink right, can be kept longer for a longer time. Okay. Hopefully you can see in between the lines. So the double walled glass has an air-filled gap, whereas the single walled glass does not. So I identified why I can hold it longer. So I have a straightforward answer, and then I need to explain further why. What does this double walled glass got to do with it? As air is a poor conductor of heat, right? I mentioned the air here because that's the evidence here. The cold drink in the double walled glass will not gain heat from the surrounding as fast as a single walled glass. Therefore, the cold drink can be kept for a longer time. Right, I hope this one give you a better idea of how to answer. So you answer the question directly first, giving the scientific facts, right, based on what you see here, and then you're relating it back to the question. Any questions so far?
Okay, parents, if you are still with us right now, can you type in one biggest takeaway here, as in just from part B? Because I think it's very important for us to do a recap before Teacher Lup Wai goes to part C. And the reason why we do this is because many times I realize that, at least in my own experience, and also students that who we taught, they tend to rush from one question to the other. And I realized that a lot of so-called gems of wisdom is being lost, in the sense that because they go too fast, they actually started to lose the essence of slowing down as well as really understanding how a question should be processed. I mean, this is what my experience lah. Yeah, so that's why our session tends to be a bit slower. We don't want to do what most people are doing. We want to slow down and then really get you to remember, so that when your child learns the essence, she can do this question as well as any other similar question. And this is what we meant by teaching your child to study the smart way. Yeah, so parents, this is our philosophy, and I hope that probably you can get some, something out of it. Okay, back to you, Lup Wai. So can you go to C so that some parents can have a complete package? Then they will test their kid before they sleep tonight.
So finishing up the part C.
Yeah, C, yeah.
Okay, so now this one should be a slightly more straightforward, whereby they just ask you state an advantage of using a single walled glass instead of a double walled glass to contain a hot drink. Now they're asking the other way around. Now the question is focusing on a single walled glass. Now that you know that air is a poor conductor of heat, right? And this one will feel hot or cold faster. Now, what is an advantage of using a single walled glass instead of double walled glass? Since you already answered the part B, you can actually answer part C if they can tweak their brain to the other side, which means I'm now focusing on the single walled glass instead of the double wall. Now, the first answer that you need to mention is focusing on which one? Single walled glass. Right. Now, how do I explain again? Very simple. The difference. Single walled glass does not have a layer of air. All right. Trapped in the glass wall. So that's the difference. Now, don't forget.
Do we have to relate back to the question? Okay, can I try? I mean, again, you can tell me that I'm wrong. Yeah. So, do we need to explain, like, that's why the hot drink can lose heat faster?
Yes, bingo, yes.
But I'm just curious, still need to explain.
Because you haven't said the advantage. Now I'm only identify the difference.
Wow, trick question.
Yeah, it's quite tricky. So sometimes it's quite hard for I can understand why students are get lost on how to exactly answer. Yeah. So usually I will tell them that if there is pictures and there is some comparison, right? Try to compare them. That means like what I'm doing now, right? Unlike there's a single wall glass does not have a layer of air trapped in the glass wall, right? Whereas double wall glass have, right? Just like very similar to the first one. Correct. I put it here.
If I'm the child, I will just say that the single wall glass will not lose, will lose it faster, and that's it. And I assume that I will get a 1 point or the 1 mark.
Usually it's not that direct whenever they want you to state. Yeah. So, and usually when they mention about state, right, and with 1 mark, yes, a lot of students will just answer like what you have mentioned. But if there is a comparison between two pictures, right, comparison will have to be added in. Yeah, comparison will have to be added in order to find the advantage, because you're doing comparison. So you need to find out, why am I better than the other person? So which is why I need to state out my so-called, like, for example, my expertise, in order to tell the people that I am I have these skills, that's why I'm better.
Just wondering, I know that the answer is incomplete. Just wondering, what if they just say that, state an advantage of using a single wall glass to contain a hot drink? Then is there a need to do comparison?
If they did not ask for in the question, they do not have the two item inside the question, right? Usually you don't need. Yeah. So that's a guide in a way for them to guide them along.
Got it.
Right. So like what you mentioned just now about the heat loss, right? So when using, so now you're just explaining based on what you have mentioned. Just identify the science facts in there. So when using the single wall glass, like what happened? The hot drink will lose heat faster. Right, now lose it faster to where? Same thing, to the surroundings. Right, as compared to the double wall glass, and that's it. Right. Yep. So that will be the answer for this one.
And I realized one of the science skill that I miss out is to be able to write fast. Yeah, you have to write very fast, and as well as you have to be very clear-headed. Yeah, and I think it's really quite challenging for some kids who need to process as well as need to write fast, and they need to make sure that they're accurate at the same time. Wow, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's actually not easy. So that's why sometimes when I teach the students, I'll try to be in their shoe and try to understand them better in a better situation, and try to help as much as possible. Yeah, it's hard to push every kid to be the same, because not every kid is the same. So we need to understand their situation as well. Some take a longer time to process. Even just by reading the question, they take a longer time to understand the question as well.
So parents, I hope that you have gained something out from this sharing. Put a yes if you have learned something, or learned at least one thing. It's a feedback for us so that we know that whether we should continue such Facebook Live so that we can support you. I mean, if there's not much of feedback, then we need to reconsider if we do such lives. Yeah. So parents, actually the intention of this is Lup Wai and I, both of us are parents teaching our own kids. And the reason why we do this is because we really want to support fellow parents like you. So since you have gotten something out of it, if you have friends who can also benefit from this, it doesn't matter whether they are primary 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5, or 6. Help us to share this out by clicking on the share button so that more people can benefit from this sharing as well. And personally, my belief is the more we share, I think at least in my own world, the good things will come back to our kids and simply because other children get help as well. So please help us to click on the share button to share with your friends and so that everyone can study in a less stress-free environment, and it's really helping other children. Yeah. So like, can you share with us like the one final takeaway that our parents should really remember? Because I know that I mean I have attended other Facebook lives of teachers sharing answering techniques for science. So I realized that we want to do something different for parents, and we only have this bandwidth for just one thing. So what is that one thing that you think parents remember?
What is the one thing? I can only think of patience.
What
Yeah,
about that?
it's like what you have gone through all the questions, right? It's not easy for the children to really absorb and understand as well. So if you are teaching or helping your kids or guiding your kids, right, I hope you have the patience to guide them through. I can understand the frustration when you are trying to teach them and giving them. Sometimes you give the keywords, you give the topic, the keywords, everything, and trying to help them to answer the questions, but they still don't get it. And that's where they feel like their confidence level all drop. And I have seen one student who have been there, and during the exam, he really cannot focus because he was worried that he could not answer. He was worrying so much that he didn't work on the questions at all. So actually, this does affect a lot on their self-confidence level. So as you can see, even for adults, it's not easy to learn and understand. So we have to have a lot of patience when the students are actually working on this themselves. Right, and always tell your child that, okay, read the questions, understand what the question is asking before you answer, and don't jump into the questions or answering immediately. Yeah, because I know time is very tight during the exam period. So a lot of time they try to answer as fast as they could, like what you have mentioned. They need to write as fast as they could. And they may not have understand the question properly, and they may have skipped certain important information in the answer. So patience and reading the question properly.
Yeah. This one I totally agree. Yeah. At the same time, my personal experience is while we want to be patient with our kids, sometimes the environment that we are in, they're not patient enough to wait for our children to progress naturally. Yeah, I mean, parents, if you do resonate with that, post a yes. I mean, my middle child is I won't say that she's slower, but she needs more time to process lah. So sometimes I find that it's really not fair. But oh well, there's nothing much we can do except to be heart-centered, as in heart-centered educators out there, and being the guardian of every child's confidence and self-esteem. I mean, for the children who came to our class and the parents entrust their kids with us. Yeah. So parents, if you like what we are doing, in fact, I have asked Teacher Lup Wai if our LOB kids can join her classes, and if you are keen to find out more from her class, you can go to this link. I'm posting it right here in the comment box. And if you have certain questions and you're wondering if her program is a good fit for your child and whether her patience level is enough for your child, yeah, or if you have some questions in mind, I mean, you can drop her a WhatsApp message at 96, sorry, okay, anyway, I will just post a whole link there. Okay, I'll just post a whole link there and then you can just check in with her. Yeah. At the end of the day, what we learning out of the box is trying to do is we want to bring you heart-centered educators. And you realize that we've been bringing many educators who are parents. Yeah, why parents? Because I think being parents will teach, I think we can bet. I would say that we can totally understand, but I think we can better relate to parents like you who also teach your own kids. Yeah, so just drop her a message if you have some questions. Probably just some questions, and there's no, I mean, all questions are important. You just text her, huh? Okay? Yeah, but tell her that you are from LOB, yeah, so that she knows where you are from. And probably she'll know that you have attended the Facebook Live so that she can relate back to it. Okay? Okay, so parents, thanks so much for being here. And now it's like 9:03, and some of the children will have exams tomorrow. So all the best. And tomorrow we have teacher Felicia, who's going to share with us how to do well for English oral. That one I must attend because my Ang Moh not very good. Yeah, my Ang Moh not very good, so I must go and have teacher to teach me. Thanks, Lup Wai. LKC
Thank
Lim
you.
said, thanks, Teacher Lup Wai. Thanks for your time as well.
Thank you, everyone, and good luck for all your children's exam for these 2 weeks.
Yeah, these 2 weeks. Yeah, last week, I think my children's school is very kind. Yeah, so last week no paper, but this week continue.
Yeah, same here.
Okay, thanks so much, parents. I will see you around. See you
you.
tomorrow. Tomorrow will be at 7:30. Yeah, so we'll see you then. I think it should be 7:30. See ya. After I teach my girls, I can't remember. Yeah, 7. Sorry, not 7:30. Sorry, 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. 8 lah. I'll see you at 8 o'clock. Bye. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.